Welcome to The Impossible Shift, the podcast where we explore how small shifts in perception can create extraordinary transformation. I'm your host, Jennifer, author, storyteller, and believer that the most powerful change begins from within. Each week, we'll unpack one of the core pillars that shape this journey, from confidence and abundance to possibility and transformation. Together, we'll uncover how seeing yourself differently can open doors you once thought were impossible. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's begin the impossible shift. Sometimes the thing you think is impossible becomes possible the moment you see someone else do it. When I think about the impossible becoming possible, I go back to my earliest memories. My younger brother and I grew up in a rough home. We were dirt poor, the kind of poor where every outfit you own is donated, and the dinner is the same meal every night, ham soup. And honestly, it was delicious. But still, it was all we had. So home was hard enough, but for my brother, school was worse. He was small, quiet, and an easy target for bullies. And yet, he carried himself with this calm, unshakable confidence. Even back then, it was like he could see something I couldn't. One day, I asked him how, and he looked at me and he said, "When I turn 18, I'm going to pack a bag and leave, and I'll never come back." I thought he was crazy. You can't just leave. You need money. You need a plan. You need something. But over the years, he kept saying it, even though the bullying got worse. And one day, after I told him he had to stand up for himself, he finally fought back in the only way he knew how. He bit the kid. The school expelled him. They called him the problem, ignoring every time they pushed him down or kicked him. He was sent to a special school, rode the short bus, but his light never dimmed. And still, he kept saying, "When I turn 18, I'm leaving." I didn't believe him. By then, I had accepted the projects, the poverty. This was just life. When my aunt told me I should expect to end up barefoot, pregnant, and on welfare like my mother, part of me believed her. But my brother, he didn't live in fear. He lived in hope. He could see something beyond what was in front of us. A life that, at the time, I couldn't even picture. Sometime before we can believe for ourselves, we need to see through someone else's eyes. So he'd disappear for hours riding the subway just to see what was out there. And somehow, he'd always find his way home. Then, on his 18th birthday, he packed a small backpack, hugged me, told me that he loved me, and walked out the door. I was sure he'd be back. But hours became days. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. When he finally called, his voice was light, happy. "I'm in Iowa," he said. A New York City boy in Iowa. When I visited, I saw him driving a car, working a job, living in a nice house, and smiling in a way I had never seen before. Standing in that house, it hit me. What was missing from my own life wasn't money. It was belief. He had believed he could have more. I hadn't believed I could. And in that moment, I saw it. That day, something shifted in me. I made my own declaration. Before I turned 21, I would be gone too. 1 month before my 21st birthday, I was traveling, exploring, living life on my own terms. The impossible becomes possible when you see it, when you believe it, when you know it to be true. That's the first shift. Seeing and believing, because sometimes you need someone else's leap to prove that you can take your own. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on the Impossible Shift. Remember, the world mirrors what you believe about yourself. As you explore these pillars, notice how even the smallest perceptual change can create a ripple in every area of your life. You already have everything you need to make the impossible possible. It all starts with how you choose to see yourself. If this episode inspired you, share it with someone who's ready for their own shift. And until next time, keep believing in what's possible.